So coming up next on Yo TV, we have Twittering,
30 facilities,
and ICE. Make sure you check it out.
Oh boy, yeah, we Yo TV, we back here.
Youth culture, youth voices, youth power, coming at you.
What's happening? We Yo TV out here.
Before we go any further, I have to big up the magazine. Youth Outlook.
Youth Outlook, chronicle of young people's lives in the Bay Area.
We're known all over the Bay and beyond.
Got a lot of good stuff for you this time. Yo!
Hi, I'm Alicia Marie, and this is my homeboy Mike, and we're here with Yo TV. Yo Youth Outlook is a multimedia TV station that helps to give youth a voice. So this week we have different stories coming up. Mike, why don't you let us know about it?
Yeah, we got a couple of incidents starting out in Oakland at Claremont Middle School, where the bathrooms are filthy, nasty. Just, it's not cool to, just go, you'll handle yourself in. And a couple of delays, but I'm pretty sure they got that on point and fixed out. Teachers showed us, the mold and, just the smell was unbearable, it was real vile, and but they got that together, which is a good thing.
All right, why don't we check it out?
Well, our process here at Claremont really began with a letter that I received last spring from Mark Tafoya Young, basically inviting me, as I think it was probably a form letter sent out to all the PTAs, and I was PTA president at the time, and it was just inviting us to consider having him give a presentation about what how our school could take advantage of the Williams complaint process. And he did give a presentation, and I think I asked him for the 15-minute version, and then we wouldn't let him leave after 15 minutes. We kept asking him more and more questions. I canvassed the staff and teachers and spoke at a faculty meeting and communicated with them in person and by email and got information from them on what their concerns were as far as the kind of Williams identified categories for the facilities, the health and safety hazards. So the general categories of complaints are non-functioning heating, ventilation, fire sprinklers and air conditioning systems. We have broken windows and exterior doors or gates that will not lock. Structural damage. And here we've got this is Ed Code. It's under California Clean Restroom Act too, I think, right? That every restroom shall at all times be maintained and cleaned regularly. So we've got numerous complaints under that. And then kind of this general category of other. But there was a total of 152 separate items. Once I had that list in hand, Lynn Combs, the attorney who was working with us, and some other parents and myself did a walkthrough and identified those, documented those, as well as anything else we could find.
During our initial inspections, we noticed that there was an exposed high voltage wire here behind this plate, so obviously students were sitting here and could easily be playing around with it and possibly electrocute themselves. And one of the things that was remedied that was kind of a pet peeve of mine was getting this plate on so that the wires are no longer exposed. Well, this is a boys' bathroom outside of the gym in the gym area. And when we first came in to do the initial inspection, the bathroom, you couldn't even come in, it smelled so bad. And the toilets weren't running, and it was just really an inhospitable environment. And as you can see, they've really done a lot of work to clean it up and get it so that students can at least use it and keep the water running and the urinals functioning. All of the vents throughout the school have been covered in dust and debris and look like they hadn't been cleaned in years. And as you can see here and throughout the rest of the school, most of the vents have been cleaned and vacuumed. So they're at least no longer blowing dust into the air and into the environment. So I think it's helped the breathing of the students and the ventilation in the school.
At this point, let's see, we filed in October. The district has been making repairs. And the biggest things that have happened, we've got a new roof on, we've got a new heating and ventilation system due to go in, new restrooms to be remodeled, and then some smaller projects as well. This process, this tool, has been the most effective thing we have ever used as far as getting a response from the district and cleaning up our site, both in cleaning up our site and making it safe for the kids. And it's been great to see the response from the district. It's been great to see the work commence and progress on the school, and make it the site that we all want it to be.
Okay. So, next up, we have Yo bloggers Erica and Jasmine A talking about the new Disney princess. So move over, Cinderella and Ariel. We have a new one in town.
Hey, blogging world, it's Jasmine A.
Hey, it's Erica.
And the topic at hand is, so our first order of business is talking about the Black Princess, Disney's Black Princess Tiana. You may remember my vlog. When I first found out about this, I was very excited.
So excited.
I think it's a milestone for Black girls. Just found an update. Her Prince Charming, he's not a black man. And that has been the cause of some discussion. As you know, as black people especially, we like to poke and prod, and we're known for not being pleased easily. And so a lot of black people are like, well, it took you long enough to give us this black princess, but now why can't her prince be a black man? And so we're just going to talk about how we feel about this.
This is obviously a media ploy to get white people on the bandwagon. I mean, they want the movie to be successful, and they know that black people, African Americans, only make up about, let's just say 12% of the population. So 12% of the population, maybe 2% are going to see the movie. That's not a very good box office, number.
I think, and not to Obama-size everything, but I think that Obama and Michelle prove they prove that you black people, black men, black women, can definitely transcend just being a black couple and just be a couple that are iconic in American culture.
Star power.
And so it's just like, why,
The Huxtables did it.
If that was the belief, then I feel like that in these day and ages, it shows that you can have a black couple and they can be mainstream.
If Sleeping Beauty had woken up and a Latino man had kissed her, wow. It would just be a whole new movie. A whole new world indeed.
Last time Disney tried to have an interracial romance, it was very offensive. Because Pocahontas offends me.
Yeah.
Because in that real story, it didn't go down like that.
It was not a happy ending. Things are getting better. There's a lot of high profile, multicultural, mixed race couples right now. And, I want to say a few words about a couple of these couples. So we're going to roll it.
Seal and Heidi Klum.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that either. I think they're a great couple.
I like Project Runway.
And I think that he's a phenomenal singer. It makes sense.
Yeah. So see, that debunks the myth.
Right.
We're not mad at that. I don't see that, and it doesn't make me mad. Coco and Ice-T.
Again,
I'm not mad at that.
God bless her. God bless her.
Cuba Gooding Jr. and wife.
Wow. Yeah, see, this was one of those that kind of snuck up on me. I really wasn't sure how to feel about this.
I'm not mad at it for, bitter reasons. It's just kind of... Ever since Boys in the Hood and that whole crying, punching at the darkness scene, I've been kind of iffy about Q. And that was, ever since then. So I've always been iffy about him in general.
But, he's been with such strong, black women, in movies, like Nia Long and then Regina King, And it's just really? Iman and David Bowie.
Yeah.
Let's go with that one.
Iman and David Bowie, I'm
really not mad. Honestly, I am glad that David Bowie could find someone with which to share his love. Because honestly, that is one weird little man.
Youth Outlook documents current events and issues going on in your community. For more information, go to youthoutlook.org.
My name is Amonte and I work for Youth Outlook TV. And, we're doing the interview today on Virgin Records, and they're going out of business in 5 days and counting.
I work at this office by this surgeon, and like I just basically pay for work.
Where you work at?
JVS retail trader right now, and I plan on getting a conservation corp job.
I have a part-time job at KFC.
Okay, so you know the store going out of business in 5 days. You know, how you feel about this store going out of business? You know, it's been here for a long time. You know, how you feel about that?
Shit, I had plans with this though. To tell you the truth, man, I was planning on dropping some few copies around here. Now all of a sudden it's gone. I can't believe it, man. Time changing, man.
I think if they're going to spend money, they're going to spend money where they can find deals, really. I mean, I went to Old Navy, pretty cheap clothes. That's where we're shopping, as cheap as we can right now. Nothing extravagant. So I imagine I know everyone's holding tight. Their wallet's real tight. You know, it makes sense right now because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
I've been shopping here for like 3 years.
Okay. And how do you feel about it closing?
I think it kind of sucks because like a lot of tourists come over here, but it's kind of cool that there's like a big sale and everything.
Well, you know, the record industry and the whole CD business has kind of been going down. It's changed. It's not going down the toilet, but everyone's buying digital music. So it's just a sign of where we're at today in terms of business model and stuff for music companies. I guess, you know, digital. It all fits in your iPod. It's great.
Well, if you don't mind telling us, what you buy today from Virgin Records? What's in your bag, basically?
I bought a sweater and a new bag, basically.
Oh, okay.
How much did you spend on that? Like 58.
What you buy from Virgin Records today?
Today I bought a Clash CD live at Shea Stadium, 1982. Supposed to be pretty good, quite a deal right there, I think. I bought this CD, Alejandro Escovedo. It's a guy from Southern California. I've read some good reviews on it. Of course, I bought an AC/DC. Fill out my collection. I have the records, but not the CDs. And then I got a Carlos Santana Blues for El Salvador.
How you normally get your music now?
iTunes, LimeWire, IB, sometimes YouTube.
I get it from friends, music stores, and like basically iTunes.
Well, you know, people are saving money for sure in the digital area because, you know, they're sharing music. So I know, you know, people are, and that's probably what's contributing, obviously, to the collapse of record stores like this because people are, you know, burn me CD, and that's what's happening. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing because we used to be able to burn tapes and stuff, so it's the same thing.
What kind of, and how you think people today getting their music, the reason why stores like this and other stores are going out of business?
I think most people is downloading this off the computers, you know. That's how it is. Everybody try to get something for free. Everybody ain't trying to spend some money off of music, though.
The album's better because people just buy the songs, but they don't actually hear all the music the artist tries to give.
How much did you spend on all those CDs altogether? The reason why you saved so much?
This was $30 for 4 CDs.
Okay.
So I actually usually buy CDs off iTunes. So this is kind of unusual. I'll have the disc, the pictures, the liner notes, all that cool stuff. So I'm excited.
I think it's really affecting them because like all these teens are trying to go to like the hottest stores, but they can't like keep up with all the bigger names because they start to close down because of the crisis.
People are saving money, and where are they spending their money? They're holding on to it right now.
Hey yo, this is Mike again, still here with another topic like before at Nystrom Elementary School, speaking about nasty facilities, dust accumulating in elementary schools and hazardous to small children.
We have had at Nystrom a lot of deferred maintenance for a lot of years. The building is over 100 years old, and I was intimately aware of the problems when I moved into my reading resource room and found that the floor was wet and almost slipped and fell. In that classroom also, the wall was really moldy because it had been leaking for a lot of years, and also inside the heater that had been wet for a very long time. There was a lot of mold and mildew. So that was really the start of my involvement.
We'd had a lot of calls coming out of Nystrom, over the last about a week or so. And as we were walking around, someone on campus directed us to take a look at the reading resource room. And when we went there, what we found was, like myself and about 2 other volunteer attorneys walked in the room, and probably within 3 or 4 minutes, all of us felt dizzy, and it was unbelievable. And my understanding is that people had filed work orders on the room, but people like nothing had been done yet. And so we went back and right away filed a complaint.
First thing always that you do is report it to the office, and they write up a work order, and The district is supposed to come and fix whatever was fixed, whatever needs to be fixed. Well, when I did that, the secretary said, "Oh, that's been leaking for 10 years. So I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a week. Nobody came. And so UTR, United Teachers of Richmond, had been starting a big push to get people to file Williams complaints to get their plants up to standard. And so I called UTR and they referred me to Mark.
Well, so Williams is a lawsuit settlement. About 4 years ago, the ACLU Southern California, Public Advocates, Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights all sued the state of California because the schools are so bad, basically. And so what happened with Williams is that it laid down, there was a settlement agreement, and as a result of the settlement agreement, it laid down some, a lot of things, but one of the things it put down was some minimum standards for schools. So now you have to have a safe school. You can't have a dangerous skill facility. Everybody gets their own textbook. The teachers, you have to have quality teachers who are permanent, and clean and safe restrooms. So things like that, where it's really getting at like everybody deserves to have those types of things. And so what Williams does is it lays down those standards, but it also gives you a way to enforce the standards, which is through this complaint process, which is how we do a lot of our work at the Education Equity Project.
Mark was really outstanding at staying on top of everything. He did all the paperwork. I just had to call and make the report. He came out, took pictures. I sent him more pictures. And then I would get updates, and he would say, "Did this get taken care of?" And I'd send back a note and say, "Yeah, this is okay, but this is not." And so we kind of had a constant email thing going back and forth until everything got squared around.
In this case, we actually had a volunteer attorney named Elham Kavani who works at Morgan Lewis, and she took on the complaint. And she was out here when we came out and toured the facility originally. And so she's the one who filed the complaint, and she came out and did a lot of follow-up. And so that's a part of what we do with Education Equity Project. We bring on volunteer attorneys who help people file the complaint, and they help people understand whether or not something is a Williams problem or not. And if it is, then they take on the complaint and they follow the deadlines and that sort of thing. But under the complaint process, what happens is once you file the complaint with the school administrator, they basically have 30 working days to fix the problem. And by fix the problem, what we're looking at is really a remedy, like actually fixing the problem, rather than just a plan to fix the problem or like an intent to fix the problem, but rather, if the glass is broken, it should be fixed in 30 working days. If the heater is broken, it should be fixed within that time frame. And in a case like this where you have a heater with toxic fumes, you don't want to wait 30 working days, so you just press for them to do it faster.
Right now, instead of in the past, people would just sit back and say, "Oh, it's broken," and they'd put in a request in the office and nothing would ever happen. And now they know that, they give it 2 weeks, and if it's not fixed after 2 weeks, we file a Williams complaint. It happens now over and over.
Sometimes when you're sitting in a school where things have been broken for a long time, the expectation is that's just how things are. And really want to challenge that assumption that, because it's always been leaking, because there's always been a hole in the roof, like that sort of thing, that it should stay that way. But there's still a duty, and there's still a really important aspect here, to make sure things are taken care of.
Usually now, we don't have to file the Williams complaints because the district knows that we're going to file, and they don't really want those Williams complaints on their record. The other thing that happened this year that's never happened before is we had a team that came through at the beginning of the school year, a Williams team. Now, they always come through and check our textbooks, but this was beyond that. They came and checked facilities, and one of the kindergarten bathrooms was leaking and was terrible, and the Williams team came in, saw that, and said, "This is no good, we need to fix it." So we didn't even have to file on that one because the Williams team took care of it, and it was done. So it's really been a wonderful thing.
We're back again with another YoTV blog. This time we're going to be talking about Twittering. Some of you might know what it is. Some of you are like me, don't know what it is, but no, CNN is doing it, so we need to get hip to it. Let's see what they have to say.
Hello, Yo Blogger. This is Jasmine A.
And I'm Erica X.
And today's topic is Twitter. and how it is effectively desensitizing young people to the violence and suffering and pain in the world. And these are USC scientists that have concluded that Twitter is responsible for why I don't get it.
So, from CNN, rapid-fire TV news bulletins are getting updates via social networking tools such as Twitter. Could numb our sense of morality and make us indifferent to human suffering, scientists say. News findings show that streams of information provided by social networking sites are just too fast for the brain's moral compass to process and could harm young people's emotional development.
First, I feel like Twitter came left field, and they finally have been inducted into the ranks of MySpace and Facebook. But I remember, it seems like about a month, like 3 weeks ago, they're doing some mass marketing because they're all in the news. They're really new for them to have concluded that Twitter
is the reason for mind-numbing like action.
And this is a study, so they took the time. These scientists took the time to do the study, which I'm guessing took enough time, and they concluded that they're projecting that it will effectively do this. So it's not now, it's starting to plant the seeds, but in time, it will be the cause.
And like, what cockamamie like science experiment did they do to prove this? Like, what double-blind study did they pull in order to construct and concoct these numbers? Like, I just don't understand. Like, okay, there's a lot going on in the world. Like, and ad nauseum in the news at every and any given moment on CNN, you can see something very, very depressing. 1,500 people killed themselves in India. Farm workers killed themselves today. And this Twitter is the reason why my moral compass needs adjustment? Hello?
But, I don't know. It's true. I feel like as a young person, and a lot of times as people of color especially, but just in American society, we are desensitized to violence.
But it's not Twitter's fault. Yeah. Like, why is everybody jumping on Twitter? Like, I feel like, honestly, like, let's just cut it raw and like name the pink elephant in the room. Ever since the Demi Moore scare with the woman who tried to commit suicide, like that, just like Twitter, what's Twitter? Oh, let me get on Twitter real quick. Like, I went from having like 15 friends to like 150 in like 3 weeks. So now it's like, oh, everybody's concerned. Well, forget about Facebook, forget about MySpace. Twitter is the new enemy. Like, you can't oversimplify, people. Like, the world is messed up. Like, there are many, many, many things that all aggregate together to give us this complex picture that is life. But you can't just simplify it down to Twitter's the problem. Twitter is the reason. How about all those horrible stories that you see on the news without one good story about the human spirit? How about that?
I also do not believe this story, but the reason for this woman's passion is because her name is tweet number one.
Right.
Number one. So she's serious about her twittering.
Right.
And she obviously cares about the world.
I care very sincerely about the world.
Scientists,
I'm still pondering the state of world optimism.
It seems like you're wrong. So you're wrong.
And if you got anything to say, you want to holler at me, you feel like I'm wrong, tweet number NUBAONE. So, tweet number one.
That is Yo Blogger on sensitivity and Twitter.
Right, and your moral compass, whatever that means.
Peace.
Peace.
So I know it's hot outside, and what do you want when it gets hot? An ice cold drink. But when some people hear the word ICE, they feel like their rights are about to be violated. So up next, we have YoTV going out to San Francisco City Hall to hear about the immigration rights issues. Let's check it out.
The purpose of tonight's session is to hear testimony that will help inform both commissions about the impacts of federal immigration enforcement policy on the lives and well-being of immigrant communities in San Francisco. The goals of the hearing are to listen to San Francisco residents who have been personally affected by various federal immigrant enforcement practices, and to gather information and begin the dialogue on the much-needed changes to federal immigration policy and enforcement practices.
We've all read about ICE raids, but they are worse than what you've read. The effects of the ICE raids are devastating to the individuals, the families, the schools, the communities. The fabric of the community is ruined because everyone is afraid.
Y mi sueño de trabajar para mis hijos se ha terminado.
We need to put attention to this. We need to put attention to what's going on with the police, to the impounds of the cars.
I don't know what I'm going to do without my dad.
I think healthcare is a very important issue, and it's something that should be afforded to everyone regardless of your legal status.
And it was a form front and back and a place where you can put in your fingerprints, I'm sure to sign. So basically, he asked me if I was an American citizen. I said I didn't want to answer that question. And then he said, can you just fill out this form? I said, why are you asking me to fill out this form? He said, well, the San Francisco Police Department gave me this paper. And I saw a paper with 10 to 15 names. And next to those names were where those people were born. I happened to be born in Egypt. Okay. And so I was just curious why he asked those questions.
I was already unlawfully attacked and arrested during the anti-war demonstration on March 21st. So I was already kind of shocked by what happened. But more specifically, when I was in jail, an ICE agent came to see me just because I wasn't born in the United States. They make it in a way where if I didn't know my rights, or if I didn't speak English or spoke English poorly, you could easily be tricked into filling out this form that they give you to say where are your parents from, and all these details. And I looked at the agent and asked him, do I even need to be speaking to you right now? And he says, well, no, the SFPD just gave me this list of people, literally a list of people, and where were they born? I saw Honduras, I saw Venezuela, I saw Canada. But my understanding, it's illegal to collaborate with ICE. So the fact that ICE presence is very strong in jails scares the hell out of me, and I'm sure scares the hell out of a lot of people who might not know their rights.
First of all, what this means is that people in the city are really concerned about the lack of immigration reform at a national level, but they're also concerned about the moves at a local level to criminalize immigrants and to deport kids.
Cuando yo pasé el problema de inmigración me sentí mal, me sentí que violaron mis derechos humanos, y cuando vine aquí y vi que las demás gentes estaban hablando y era más fuerte lo de ella, me sentí con más fuerza para seguir adelante.
It's extremely important to me to connect with different types of immigrants from various communities, because if we're not together as a strong community, as a force, nothing's going to happen if we speak as individuals versus as a collective.
Que esto llegue hasta el presidente y que haga ya esa reforma migratoria y que los ayude, porque somos unas personas trabajadoras que hemos venido a luchar para nuestros hijos.
So if you thought those stories are interesting, check out our website, Youth Outlook.
And make sure when you get there that you blog. You know what blogging is now. Become a Yo blogger and let's see what you have to say.
Stay tuned next week.
So next up we have Yo bloggers Erica and Jazz talking about the next black president. the next black president.
Nystrom School, and like the other topic before this one.
Okay, so coming up next on Yo TV, we have Twitter,
Dirty Facilities,
and got caught, right?